Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Phil Arno. As you sit there watching this program, you are aware that everyone, not just in Buffalo, but throughout the country and around the world, has been in some way affected by the coronavirus situation. People in every walk of life have had to adjust the way they live and work, and a lot of people are just plain old stuck at home with little to do and no one to do it with. I guess the lucky ones have family to pass the time with, depending on who your family is. Some people do jigsaw puzzles. Some people clean the house 5 times a day. Some people might binge watch on old episodes of The Big Picture. Maybe not. And some people, the ones who might be a little creative, they find a way to carry on. Imagine being a Las Vegas entertainer, someone who lives to see the audience smile and applaud. Not too many crowds going to Las Vegas shows right now. My next guest is a Las Vegas performer, but he's also a Buffalonian through and through. His name is quite familiar to most of us here in Western New York. So let's see how he's been filling in the blanks. And here he is, the one, the only, Frankie Scinta. How are you doing in Las Vegas, Frankie?
Under these circumstances, I have my family, and we're supposed to be quarantined with 10 or less people.
Yeah.
And in my family, that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I mean, every night feed at least 10 people, because it's my children, and then their spouses, my in-law, my son-in-law and daughter-in-law, and my 6 grandchildren. So I have a house full almost every single night. Cooks for an army. But you know what? I live for that. I live for my family. Those are the only people I really see. You see your neighbors, you wave, you say hello. My brother Tony comes over. I'll go to his house, or he comes to my house. That's it. I mean, I haven't seen my friends other than, like FaceTime. And it's just, it's really surreal. And never in my lifetime we'd see anything like that. But it is what it is.
Yeah, Vegas now here in Buffalo, it's been a fairly cool or cold and wet springtime. So there's not been a lot of activities that you can do outdoors. People have been kind of camped away inside, cabin fever type stuff on the steroids. In Vegas, you got great weather. Is that helping, or does that just make it more frustrating that you can't go out and do anything?
It's beautiful. That's one blessing we have out here. That's one thing. That's one reason why I love living here. I miss so many things about Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo, I love it. The people, the food, the heart. I love our city. The thing about this is, you go outside, you do see people walking around everywhere. Everybody's with their children, their pets. The parks are closed, but you could walk around them. And in every, I live in a development, and almost every development has its own private park. And you see a whole family walking around. And you know what? Before this virus, really, people kind of took those parks for granted, and now they're using them. They're out, they're walking, and that's one nice thing you see, is that people are out and they're not stuck home watching TV. And that's what I feel bad for my friends back east when the weather is inclement like that. You're in the house, you can't go outside, but out here, we're blessed to be able to go out anytime. My grandkids are in the pool almost every day, and I thank God for that, because they would drive us crazy.
Yeah. What about in Vegas? I mean, the whole industry, the hotels, the casinos, the shows. I mean, everything's come to a standstill. How is that impacting everything that goes on?
That's the unfortunate thing. Buffalo is used to having trouble, like the blizzard of '77, and we're used to it. You know, it snows, you get 3 feet. We go outside, and people are going to Tops and Wegmans in an hour. You know what I mean? Here, everything is done. I mean, it really is. To see the strip of Las Vegas shut down is a scary sight. Shows are done. And for guys like me, I don't know when, like all of my shows have been canceled. I mean, everything that I'm doing have been canceled. And I don't see when it's I don't see people sitting together, 400, 500, 1,000 people sitting together right now in this environment until there's a vaccine, until there's an answer. And I don't know what that answer is. So I guess I'm putting my faith in the big guy upstairs. I don't get into politics, and I don't know what that is, but I know this: we got to trust in God, because that's all we got to hold on to right now. I mean, it really is. Yeah. We got to just hope, like we do on the telethon for all those kids every year.
Your business is, especially when you're first starting out, but you know, all along, there's times when things slow down, everything comes to a halt. You know, you're waiting for a call. When's your next show going to be? In your career, have you ever been in a situation where things just stopped and you're sitting there, are you like going crazy, not performing?
It happens throughout time. You know, it does. Everything changes. Vegas changes I'd say every 5 years, Vegas changes. You know, they want a show like the kind of show that we do, and then they don't. They want the big shows. They want the J-Los. They want the Justin Timberlakes. They don't need a guy like me or the Vegas headliners that have been here for so many years that are now local headliners. They have no use for them. And then all of a sudden they have use for them. Like, we need you guys, because there's an age group. There's an eclectic age group that lives here, over 1 million of them, that are 30 to 70 that don't go see Justin Timberlake or J-Lo or Bruno Mars, that want to be entertained, that have expendable cash. And when the casinos realize that, they want to put your show in, and they pay you well. And that's a blessing for guys like me. And you know what? What I love to do is come back home, go to Michigan, go to Ohio. Those are the places that made the ground for me to get here. If it wasn't for Buffalo and McGuire's Arches and the Executive and all those places we played in Buffalo that were the growing grounds, I would have never been here. I didn't even want to come here when we were moving here. I was the last one of my family. I don't want to go to Vegas. I love it here. This is my home. But it was a blessing in disguise. You know,
well, speaking of Buffalo, you were here for the telethon, and you were, one of the main attractions in the telethon, and you were a real trooper. You spent so much time, and the telethon was a huge success. You know, we had a great time with WBBZ as the first time hosting that, and we're really happy the way things turned out. Have you gotten any feedback? Have you talked to the people back here? Was that the last time you were in town?
Yeah, that was the last time I was there, because kind of right after that, everything hit the fan, and boy, oh boy, I couldn't travel anymore. Everything was shut down. You know what? A lot of people loved the fact that it felt more like home this year. It felt like the telethon used to feel in the old days, when it just had that heart. And you guys really, between the two stations, between Channel 5, Channel 2, you guys really elevated it to a level that I think felt more like home. And not that the other station didn't do it justice, it just was fresh. That's a good word for it. And I think it, you know, like when you paint a house, it isn't any better after you paint it. It just was like, wow, it looks beautiful. And it looked beautiful. And it felt fresh. And when you could do better for the children, that's the bottom line. And we did.
In the future, we're going to be going back to normal, hopefully. You got anything planned for a performance in Buffalo?
I do, and I'm, you know what? I'm pretty sure we should be back to normal by this winter. So December 1 and 2, I will be at Seneca, Niagara, and I'm going to light up their Christmas tree, which should be very special this year because we're going to light up the world at those 2 nights. And I can't wait to come back home. I'll be home for Christmas. I can't wait.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for this segment of The Big Picture. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Frankie about Las Vegas, entertainment, and trying to make predictions in this unpredictable situation. Stay tuned.